So my lab is Optical Oceanography Lab. What we do includes many things. Primarily, we use optics and satellites to look at local scale and large scale ocean phenomena. On local scale, we look at coastal water quality, including algal blooms, both harmful and non-harmful. So we go to the field, measure optics and collect water samples, bring to the lab to analyze what's in water. Then we try to relate it to what satellites see. Okay? So we have lots of satellites at different resolutions, different coverage. We try to estimate what's in water from satellites. My lab has a very special technique. We call it a virtual antenna, virtual buoy stuff. We use this technique to bring raw satellite data, those bits, 1010 bits data, and process those using standard, non-standard, customized, peer-reviewed algorithms to make data products and make them online so everybody can make use of this. For that, we have to go to the field very often, maybe once a month or once 2 months. We have to calibrate and validate what we see from the satellites. We have been doing a lot of things trying to make this web service user-friendly, so people can make a very quick assessment on the coastal bloom or water quality conditions. By these conditions, you can see the bloom area extent, you know where the bloom is, where most algae is found, and what type of algae that is, and how clear is the water, so you have light on the bottom. And this information is very useful, not just for everyday boater, beach goer. It's useful for coastal managers. So they rely on this type of information to help them make a decision on future management. And also it is useful for science because we are trying to tell what has changed in coastal zones in the past 2 decades, 3 decades. Is the change related to climate variability, or is the change related to human activities? So with the satellites, our view is not limited on a certain area. We can look at every place on Earth, especially in the past few years. And the Caribbean residents have experienced a lot of sargassum beaching events. So sargassum are washed on beaches with an excessive amount. They get rotten, they smell, they attract insects. So it's a beach nuisance. And this is represent a big problem for the Caribbean countries and islands. But if they are not washed on the beaches, sargassum provides a very important habitat for many marine animals, fish, turtle, crab, shrimp, many of those. So in a general sense, sargassum is very good for the ocean and for the ocean ecosystem. But if you have a lot on the beach, it's pretty bad. It chases away tourists. It's bad for local economy. So we have been using satellites to track sargassum for the past 15, 17 years for the entire Caribbean and Atlantic. And we try to figure out where it comes from and why it changed from year to year and what may happen in next years. And my lab has a sargassum watch system called swaths, which gives a daily update on the sargassum situation in Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. Combined with the surface currents, a layperson can even tell where the most sargassum is, and next day it may end up. So we're trying to bring research to serve the community. To be able to do that, we have to do a lot of basic research. For example, go to the field, collect a sargassum sample. One of my students has been doing that for a couple of years. We have to measure sargassum and determine the sargassum growth environment. So there's a lot of basic research behind this. But the end product, I hope, will be very useful for many, many people. And people have access to this end product. So another thing related to water quality is oil spill. And for the Gulf Coast residents, this is nothing new, because in 2010 we had this Deepwater Horizon oil spill. Actually, in the Gulf, there is almost daily spill from natural ships. So there is a lot of oil spill, not in the Gulf and in many other parts of the world. So what we do using optics and using satellites is to monitor oil spills, to tell the area extent, to tell the duration and the intensity, and is that emulsified, non-emulsified? So what is the fate, trajectory of oil spill? We work with modelers, we work with other disciplines, biological oceanographers, to tell the origin and the fate of oil spill. And we have tools on the web to monitor the spill location and the trajectory. And that's combined with the Google Earth. You can track the oil slicks